You're about to get frostbitten.
Get him!
Fasten your seatbelts. It's gonna be a bumpy
ride.
All you geeks and gamers better stop jerking off to me, okay? I smell like burnt hair and Julie, but that isn't stopping you. I fuck you like you're retarded because I think you're all retarded. I see the chat. I see you in the chat. Hit an F right now. Jerking off to your girl. Frostbitten. Now press F if you're not jerking off. Frostbitten. Friday Night Tights.
Get him!
Frostbitten. Now press F if you're not jerking off. I see the chat. I see you in the chat. Hit an F right now. Jerking off to your girl. I'll wait.
Weird!
Do not come. Do not come.
I'm gonna come.
I'm not qualified. Go ahead. Make my day.
Get him!
Call me Beaver Barbie.
Bitch, you're that goddamn ugly.
I jerked off to the dislike ratio.
I'm not hot to you.
No.
What in the heck did I just walk into?
Wow. People keep confusing me for prepubescent Justin Bieber. Someone in the chat called me Eminem mid-transition. Frostbitten. Now press F if you're not jerking off. Frostbitten. Friday Night Tights.
Get him!
Frostbitten. Now press F if you're not jerking off. I see the chat. I see you in the chat. Hit an F right now. Jerking off to your girl. I'm standing up for all the women at G4. Emily, Abby, Megan, Joe, Jake, Zipper, Pockets, Scissors, Tape Dispenser, and Filing Cabinet. X-Ray girl, she is a beautiful young Oriental. X-Ray girl,
Give me cock. Ask them the price of cock.
X-ray girl, what is this for you to stroke your chopstick to? You don't like it? Go somewhere else. Peace. Right now. You don't like it? Go somewhere else. Peace. Right now. You don't like it? Go somewhere else.
Greetings once again, my friends.
Happy close to Thanksgiving.
Happy Monday.
Yep.
I would like to start this stream off by asking for a moment of silence. For Tommy. The green, the white, the red, the black, the Christmas Ranger. The ultimate Power Ranger. The one that all boys wanted to be like, and all girls wish they could be like Kim. Until she dumped him in the stupidest way possible. To Tommy. And also to Jason David Frank. Thank you for the entertainment, for the good lessons taught, for being an awesome guy. Thank you.
F's in the chat.
F's in the chat. Well, G's in the chat for the Green Ranger.
Okay.
The original Green Ranger. That I'm still reeling from that announcement yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
But also, welcome. Happy Tuesday, everybody. Welcome to the road to Hogwarts Legacy.
Even though it's Monday.
I don't care. I don't care what we're streaming.
I know.
Whatever.
We're just having fun.
Whatever! Oh my gosh! Now you have to give me a dodge.
Dodge!
Thank you.
Okay. Happy now?
Yes. So, is it a little loud?
A little bit.
Let me see if we can turn it down. Just
Unless I turn it down here. Or
actually, yeah. Give me the controller really quick.
Okay.
And,
oh yeah. Well, I guess for us it's like loud to us.
Oh, because it reset. That's why. Okay, let's do that.
All right.
If it's too quiet, then people will let us know. But yeah, it's just coming into our TV like really loud, probably because of the emulator. So, welcome to Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone.
We are just getting ready to play this in ready for Hogwarts Legacy.
Yes. And actually, as a change of pace, Andrea will be playing. Because Drak doesn't want to be a controller hog. That and Andrea's a Harry Potter fan, so might as well give it to you. Would you like to create one? Yes. Does that mean Drak will get Nutter Butters? I make no promises.
Drak forgot to get
actually No, unfortunately, the ones that I could have gotten at the store today were those weird like wafer ones.
Oh, really?
Yeah, those are good.
Those are.
There was nothing about the starry sky that night to suggest that strange and mysterious things would soon be happening.
And we will be talking a lot about Tommy tonight, but we also are going to be talking Harry Potter, Harry Pothead. I'm sorry, Harry Potthead.
Named Hagrid left a blanket-wrapped bundle.
I have to give you at least a little bit of crap.
Drive.
Yes,
you are the Harry Potter fan.
Yeah.
Was a baby, Harry Potter.
If this was Lord of the Rings, you'd be giving me crap about it, and I'd probably be running with it.
For the next 11
you would
years,
be.
Harry lived with his dreadful
Since you've
step-parents,
been
the Dursleys.
I'm surprised you haven't seen any. There's those Robot Chicken, Lord of the Rings.
There actually aren't that many.
To attend
there are more Star Wars parodies than Lord of the Rings
Hagrid took
parodies.
Harry to Diagon Alley
And dare I say, the Lord of the Rings parodies are not that great.
Soon after,
the Star Wars
Harry
parodies
caught
are
the
great.
Hogwarts Express from platform 9 3/4 and left
Someone
the Muggle
had a
world
good time
far
doing those.
behind.
Yeah. I think it was
Harry sat
Seth
beneath his
Green that
sorting
wanted
hat,
to do that.
hoping that he would not be chosen for
And
Slytherin House
so
over
they did
Gryffindor.
the first
Not
Star
Slytherin,
Wars
eh?
episode,
Said the hat in
and
his ear.
then they
It
just
could be great. It's all here
made
in
that
your
work.
head, and Slytherin will help you.
After
on your way
that
to
after that
greatness.
kicked off, and they did two, and I think they did as many
Well,
as
if you're
4
sure,
episodes.
Better be
So-
Gryffindor.
These are actually great animations. It's just too bad that we're going to be going back to PlayStation graphics pretty soon.
I know, don't you just miss
The castle looks great. Dumbledore looks scrunched.
He's like, I'm an old man.
Now, the Harry model does look good.
Welcome to Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry. I am Albus Dumbledore, your headmaster. Now, Hogwarts is full of secrets.
This is based on the
Harry,
Richard
so
Harris
search behind
Dumbledore.
every
Now
door,
I'm
but
sad
keep in
again.
mind, not all secrets are rewarding. Oh, which reminds me.
Well, that's what
the third floor
people, when they
corridor
were
is out of
creating
bounds
this
to
game, that's all they can
everyone
go
who
off
does
with.
not wish to
Yep.
suffer a most
No, I get it, but it's just like he was such a good casting, but then I get into the weird Twitter debate of like,
nitwit,
could he
blubber,
have been
ornament,
a good
tweak.
Dumbledore for what came later, for how dark the books would get, and it's a tough question to answer because he was perfect for those Chris Columbus movies, but could Richard Harris have gone darker? Yes. Would it have looked as good as Michael Gambling? I don't know. That just worked out. Yeah, so this is the sad part, guys. We technically weren't able to say anything about Kevin Conroy.
You must be Harry Potter.
And that one was
I'm
really
Fred
sad.
Weasley, and this is my brother,
What made it
George.
worse was
Hello there, Harry. We have a
have you ever heard
for you.
have you ever heard
In
of
Hogwarts,
Cameo?
There are special portraits.
Yes, I have.
Okay.
And behind these
So
special
you know the
portraits
premise of
are
Cameo, right?
prizes.
Yes.
Where
Of course,
celebrities
not
can
just
make
anyone can open up the
messages to
portraits.
fans if they
You
pay
need
for
to
it.
know the password.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
If you
Kind of
bring us
like almost
earwax
like
every flavour beans,
kind of
we'll
like
tell you the password. We'll be in
So
Gryffindor
there's
common room,
there's
which is
a
through the
cameo
portrait of the
going
Fat Lady.
around on YouTube
See you
that
around, Harry.
Kevin Conroy had made. It was a woman's name, but I can't remember exactly the woman's name. But she had just lost a parent,
Password.
and Kevin gave like the most inspiring story about like how he watched both of his parents die, and how he was able to get past it and everything, and gave like ultimately the best freaking advice that you could ever give.
Grab a chocolate frog.
And it was
It's
so
got
sad to
some
listen
energy.
to. And then he, of course, like, because she wanted him to read the I am vengeance, I am the night, I am Batman, and he did that.
Really?
Yes. I will see if I can find this for Andrea, because it actually almost made me cry, and I was out delivering packages when I heard it.
Gringotts goblins today insisted that
The
they
other
had
one
been
that
taken.
I like
The
is
contents of the
somebody
vault in
asked for a
question, which
cameo of
remain
him,
unidentified, had
or
been
either
withdrawn
that or it was a
earlier that
con
same
appearance,
day.
where somebody asked him to say the last lines of The Dark Knight in the Batman voice. Because if you don't remember, the last lines spoken in The Dark Knight are Batman. And so instead of the Christian Bale Batman voice, you get Kevin Conroy saying them. And actually, if you guys haven't seen The Dark Knight recently, go watch it, because those last lines are amazing and really great Batman kind of lines. And Kevin Conroy reading them, oh, it's gold. So, yeah, we weren't able to talk about Kevin Conroy. And now we have Jason David Frank, who passed away. And the saddest part about Jason David Frank is that the family did confirm that it was via suicide. And that will forever boggle my mind, because everything I've ever heard of the guy, from people who have met him, he was a great guy. He was a real dude to hang out with. Even seeing some of the Power Rangers interviews, or not interviews, but the tributes that are out on Twitter, like from Austin St. John, and I think another one was Johnny Young Bosch had done one. And all of them are just like, he's such a great guy. They are completely shocked as to why this happened and all of that. And it's just,
That's insane.
it's all freaking sad. Yeah.
Was he found in his home or
Come on,
something?
Harry.
We don't know the details. because the family won't give those details.
Well, that makes sense.
And on top of that, they're they've asked to give them privacy.
Lying about. Go home to your mother, Potter. Oh, sorry.
Well, you would just hope he wasn't like somewhere like.
Fuck you, Malfoy. Sorry, what?
Well, you would just hope he wasn't like somewhere very far.
It was a nasty piece of work.
Like,
just
you know,
ignore
like
him.
if it was in his
Us
home, or if it
Gryffindors
was
should
like
stick
if he died in like a car crash sort of thing.
Well,
Come on,
I mean,
Harry,
that would be
follow me.
sad too, but like
Just push
the
forwards on
fact
the
that
controller.
this is actually kind of worse in a way because like you don't want to imagine people like Jason David Frank actually being depressed. And if he was depressed, man, he hit it.
Follow me.
Because like all the stuff I've ever seen of him,
To
he was
jump,
happy to
just
be
approach
there,
the edge and keep pressing
and
forwards on
he's
the
always been
controller.
happy with his spot in the Power Rangers fandom and everything like that. But
Look.
I mean,
there's
the
another
last thing I
feather.
just barely
Hold on
heard
back
was
and
he
watch the
was
entrance. You'd better
he had
go
just
and rescue
barely
Hedwig.
done his MMA career, and he was bouncing. He was gonna try out pro wrestling. That kind of didn't work out. So that's why I'm the most confused. Is like, what happened there ultimately, and we'll probably never get an answer. But it's just sad, especially since he had a loving family. The one I've been waiting to see is if Amy Jo Johnson will make a video, and I don't even know if she's on social media anymore. So
Hello, Harry Potter. My name
that's
is
kind of the
Harry
issue
Potter.
too.
I am the
Is I
Gryffindor
can't
House.
expect Twitter videos from all of them because, you know, Elon Musk took over. So everybody's like, I'm leaving Twitter because Elon Musk is in charge.
Your triangle button.
Oh my gosh, Elon Musk reinstated Donald Trump. I'm leaving for like 24 hours and then you're back. No, I shit you not, that actually happened.
No, I
A couple of Twitters, like they, as soon as Elon put up a poll saying, "Do you want me to reinstate Donald Trump?" and it was a close poll, but it did come out in favor of reinstating Trump. And as soon as that happened, you saw a bunch of people going, "I'm leaving Twitter," and then literally 24 hours later, they were back tweeting.
They were back.
They were back, and everybody's like pointing out, "Wait, I thought you were gone."
Well, apparently they.
Yeah, and they're just like, "No, I'm not gone. I'm not leaving." Okay, well, you said you were going to leave, so. all that tells us is that congratulations, you can't quit Twitter.
You can't.
That's less time than it was
like
when
you-
I deleted my Twitter account when I was mad at them.
Snails have escaped from a
How long was that,
magical creature's
Rising
house.
Sun?
Careful, they're dreadfully poisonous. Press the cross button to cast the Flipendo knockback jinx from your
Who
wand.
knows?
I'm genuinely curious as to how long that took for
And watch
a
out
week
for
or
those
two, I think.
poisonous
Okay, well,
snail
there you go.
trails.
See, you've proven that you can quit social media. Some of these celebrities can't. They literally cannot quit Twitter. They are just that addicted.
Flipendo.
Why, you actually went back to Twitter? Or you still have?
I don't check it as much since I've been on the job. And I probably should advertise more on it, but I don't care. I feel like Twitter is the social media I least care about as those I use. So which one is the most?
The game camera.
Because I kind of don't have one. I just kind of bounce into a social media just to check on things when I'm waiting for somebody to call me. Or when I'm like in between tasks. I care about YouTube, Twitch, Reddit to a degree, and Discord if that counts. No, Discord would count as a social media as far as I'm concerned. I mean, I still run my server, but there's not a whole lot that needs to be done there. And technically, since YouTube opened up the ability to post to everybody, like everybody can use it now, at least from what I could tell. Yeah, I would count YouTube as a social media. in that regard. You're on Reddit, and so you are on one that I'm not. I've tried numerous times getting on Reddit, and I just can't get into it. It's too hard to follow discussions. Like, I use Reddit, but I'm not worried about, like, creating my own.
I've only seen Reddit a couple of times.
Reddit, I mainly lurk, but post some. Yeah, that's primarily what I do, is I just lurk. So, like, I'll go onto Reddit for, like, game feedback or stuff like that. I went onto Reddit just to see everybody talking about, oh, look, God of War Ragnarok got a perfect 10 from all the gaming journos. And nobody was surprised by that. It's almost like the gaming journos were bought and paid for. Let's see. And I do it super anonymously. Like, when I do comment on something, I have no interest in building a following there. Exactly. Like, as a gaming channel, I probably should have some level of Reddit presence, but I don't. And I'm not really looking to have a Reddit presence. I'm willing to have the presences that I do, and by that I mean not really. Like, I went back to Facebook this year, and can you really call it that? Because I've checked into it, like, when I'm waiting for something. I just post when I see a discussion or question where I feel I can contribute. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Like, if something's really cool happening with friends that I know, then I'll comment.
Well, you've made it this
or
far.
if there's an interesting discussion on Twitter about Full Metal Alchemist or
Like this
something
one
like
needs
that.
a charged Flipendo knockback jinx to move it. To cast a charged knockback jinx,
But
hold down the cross
the reason I
button to
point
build
this
up a
out
spell
is
before
because
releasing it.
we're all normal human beings. We can step outside of it. We don't live in social media. There are people who literally live in social media, cannot live without it. And if you don't believe me, put up an unpopular opinion, watch for your first detracting post in that regard. What is it about, and how long did it take for that detractor to A, put up their first post, and B, when you snarkily respond to them, how long did it take for them to reply?
Not very long, I'm sure.
I've literally had people, Andrea, where, like, I leave a post on, this is a bad example because all of them are, all of the kick vicars are all weirdos, but there was one going around where this, quote, religious woman was talking about Icky Vicky. And I put up, like, a snarky thing going, gee, for a religious woman, you don't seem to be very forgiving. And I went to go live my life. I come back 6 hours later. It took her the better part of 20 seconds to respond to me.
Really?
Yes. Because her tweet back to me was 6 hours old. I'm just like, oh. And I even responded back just like, oh, I didn't see your reply there. It's almost like I have a life or something. Also, still not very forgiving for a Christian woman. Shit you not, I stayed on Twitter at this point. 20 seconds later, had a reply. That's a life that can't be lived outside of Twitter. All right?
Sad.
I feel bad for her management.
Passage with an owl. Now I'm trapped by these enchanted books.
Because I'm guaranteeing you, she ain't doing her job.
The way with Flipendo. Use the R1 button to point your wand at the flying books, then use your cross button to cast.
But again, it's kind of not a good example because I think I'm glad I don't have Twitter on my phone. Yeah, I actually for the holidays, I'm considering taking the apps off for Christmas and all that. Especially since I'm getting ready for peak season, so I'm probably not going to be able to look at them anyway. Except I can't get rid of my work social media. That's the downside. That way I can't get notified unless I actively check it. That's really when I do it. Like I even have notifications turned off. I have notifications turned off on social media, and immediately, like, the only reason I know that people reply is I go in there and go, oh, I have a notification.
There, I found it.
But I'm not getting, like, dinged on my phone. So that's the difference right there, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Uh-huh. I mean, how often do you check your social media? It cannot be more than, like, once a month.
Yeah, once in a while. But not all the time.
If people need to ding my phone, they probably have my phone number or Discord. Exactly. And that's the way to look at it. How do you feel about playing Harry Potter again, Andrea?
It's been forever.
You're just so happy.
Oh, yes.
And we're playing it on Steam Deck, so that's even better, right?
Oh, yes.
We're totally not cheating.
A charge Flipendo Nutbreak Jinx might free Hegwood from those bars. Keep the cross button
Some of the
held
models
down
in
to
this
cast
game.
one.
Good lord.
It's like some of them look like they're smiling and it looks creepy. It's like,
yes.
What the heck?
I'm going to be in your dreams later.
Close your eyes, I'm going to be in your dreams.
Yep.
No, that's not creepy.
Oh, and I just barely got the tweet again. Because we just found out that our youngest will not have school for the rest of the week. She only had school today.
Mm-hmm.
And so the preschool will not be going for the rest of the week because of Thanksgiving.
I see you rescued Hedwig. She was eager to get out, so I opened the door for her. That'll teach me.
This is actually one of the reasons why I'm streaming tonight, everybody, because I don't know how things are going to be for the next 3 to 4 weeks.
You guys go ahead.
I'm going to try very hard to make things work. Hey, Kasaibo.
Hello.
Harry Bladder! Exactly. I like that. I was going with Harry Pothead, but that was me. I don't know how often I'm going to be able to stream, but you know what? If I've got the energy after a long work day, I will try and make it work. I just am not going to make any promises.
Give Drak some energy drinks.
Hickory brought you a broomstick.
Because I already know that, so I technically have a shift on Black Friday, and that's when the peak season starts. And I am dreading that day because I'm probably going to go there and find out I have like 400 packages to deliver. And I'm going to be like...
Here's a door to the flying
quit
lesson.
crying.
Watch yourself, Harry. I hear Madam Hooch is really strict.
You say that. You don't have to load the truck or load the van. You don't have to unload the van.
Yes, I know.
You don't have to get stuck somewhere trying to unload a van that could take until 1 a.m.
Yes, because I have my own stuff to do at work.
There is a house point bonus if you
I don't remember the game looking this goofy. Is this not a PC version?
No.
This is not a PC version. I gave Andrea the choice. She wanted the PlayStation version.
Actually, I knew you wanted to do the PC, but
I offered the PC version, but unfortunately, I wasn't even able to find the PC version to be able to emulate it.
All right, hold on. I am not good with
options, yeah.
Yeah. I like my room in the... Oops. Okay.
Yeah, so we went with the PlayStation version. It was either that or the PS2 version, and you know what? I've seen plenty of the PS2 version. Because the PS2 version is just basically a cop-out of Chamber of Secrets, which is still probably the better of them.
And try again.
Yes, I know. Okay, now I got it.
Madam Hooch is actually one of the biggest sins, because they actually, like, if you look at the model right, they basically try to make it look like her hair have depth, but it doesn't. And all it takes is her to bend her, to turn her head one direction, and you see exactly what they did. It's basically like mini mohawks.
The next test is a little harder.
Yes.
There are bonus house points if you succeed.
Oh, good lord.
Well, we couldn't have played the
tighter.
PC version
Ready,
unless
Papa?
you had a way
On my
to
whistle,
do the
then.
drawing
3,
mechanics
2,
Yeah.
of the spells.
That's what I'm saying, is like, there was no way to be able to properly emulate it.
Otherwise, I would have loved to do the PC one, because so many fun.
The PC versions of both Philosopher's Stone and Chamber of Secrets are actually really good.
Actually, I think you could do the Chamber of Secrets, couldn't you?
Nope, the PC emulators that I know of can't play it.
Really? But you didn't need a mouse for... Well, yeah.
Yeah, but you need to be able to run it in an emulator. That's the thing. Because I don't think Chamber of Secrets is on Steam.
That's true.
And if it is on Steam, it could easily be the console version.
I do believe you may have a natural talent for this. Ready for a tougher challenge?
Gosh, these
there are
models.
bonus house points for a perfect
So
score.
bad.
As before, fly through each of the magic hoops. Concentrate now. On my whistle. 3, 2, 1.
Where's your whistle? Oh, she's holding it. My bad. I remember watching my little brother do this, and he could not do it.
Get the broom mechanics.
And then I came in and I did it in one shot. He's like, what the hell? And it's like, dude, I've been playing flight simulators for forever. Have you ever heard of X-Wing? Yeah, I've been playing that shit.
Really?
Yeah. Dude, if I could get X-Wing to run on a PC emulator, I'd probably play it. I'm worried that it would be really complex. Probably couldn't run it on a controller.
Jeez, I forgot how tanky it is.
Mm-hmm. Welcome to nostalgia, Andrea.
Mm-hmm. Maybe I should have used the D-pad.
Well, use it.
I know, that's what I'm trying to see. Maybe I'm better with the freaking joystick, I don't know.
Yeah, they didn't really figure out the analog sticks until PS2 era. I wasn't even really willing to mess with them unless the game mandated them. So, like, I think Metal Gear Solid mandated it.
Concentrate, Potter.
I
and try
don't like
again.
the flight controls, thank you. I just want to skip this.
Well, obviously you're not concentrating, so concentrate.
Can I just skip the rings and just...
No. You can't be like all those celebrities who left Twitter for literally 24 hours. In some cases, 12.
They needed a break from
Oh, they need more than that. Oh yeah, by the way, the Babylon Bee's back on Twitter. The Taliban have quit. The Taliban have quit Twitter to protest the return of Trump.
Mastered the basics of
Good.
right along.
Good. The Taliban should be mad. Good thing Harry didn't have to pick up cars and after flying through
Hi, Harry.
rings.
Have you met Hermione yet? She's a real nerd. And the teachers. No, I am
Do you even
not.
know what he's referencing?
Hello, Harry. Charms class
Superman
is about to
64.
start. Isn't it
really?
exciting? She's rather
Yeah, because you had to
annoying,
like
isn't she?
fly through rings all the time in those, and then you had to pick up cars, and I think you had to pick up people too, didn't you, Kasaibo? It was bullshit. Such a bad game. You know it's a bad game when even the developers have basically forsworn it. It's like, yeah, that wasn't our best work. Yeah, you're right. It wasn't your best work.
Oh no! I forgot in my spell book. I'll catch you up, Harry.
Oh my goodness.
Is that Emma Watson voicing Hermione?
No,
No, I am not.
No. I don't think they could have paid her enough.
I
Well, they technically, I mean, they technically voiced them
Get to the
in
charms class before the timer
what?
runs out. Walk
Order
through
of the
floating
Phoenix
clocks
on?
to start the timer.
Probably.
Oh, poor Emma Watson. She's lost a lot of relevance, hasn't she? Oh, but speaking of the Harry Potter cast, shout out to Tom Felton, who pissed off the Harry Potter fandom because he also will not bend the knee and denounce J.K. Rowling. I don't know if I told you about this, Andrea, but when, oh crap, what's his name? Hagrid. When Hagrid passed away, there was a string of hatred on Twitter, basically spitting on his grave because of the fact that he sided with J.K. Rowling. It was the dumbest thing ever. He made many Slytherins proud. He did, actually. Well, when he did it, they actually got the hashtag Slytherin Pride trending, I think.
Not good. Not good. Oh dear.
It shouldn't be.
Okay. I just want to make sure the buttons.
Keep trying.
It could be delayed.
Trying.
Ah, that would suck.
Oh dear.
Because I'm pushing it right.
Not good. That was good.
It's like
Wow, there you go. You acclimated to the bad.
Perfect.
I know.
Is this PSN? No.
No, like I have to push it before it hits.
Misfits, dirty cheaters. Free emulating's precious.
Not good. Oh dear. That was good. Excellent.
No, I don't even think this is on PSN.
Perfect.
I think Chamber of Secrets is,
You've
but...
mastered Wingardium Leviosa. Potter, Granger, and Weasley. Follow me to see the Wingardium Leviosa
But yeah,
spell
I'm just...
put into practice.
So, I'm actually really happy for Tom Felton. For those who don't know, Tom Felton played Draco Malfoy.
Now, listen carefully.
He's actually said that he's still thankful to J.K. Rowling for the things that have happened in his life, and he's not throwing her under the bus. Hey, J-Rock! Yo! He's not... Yeah, I actually was really happy with Tom Felton. He's not going to throw her under the bus like the other main cast members have. In order to stay relevant. Because the only reason they did it was to stay relevant. If they actually voiced their concern with all of her detractors, they would not be acting right now.
Well done. 5 points to Gryffindor.
If this doesn't sound familiar, how about let's go to the 4 hobbits coming out in support of the Rings of Power. Because you better do it or else.
Jeez.
Dear Harry,
Don't they
please
all
meet me in the
have
castle
any respect of,
grounds.
like, you know,
You can get to the
enjoying
castle grounds
thing
through the
called
front door of the
entertainment
castle.
and not worry about
Pop around for a cup
political
of tea and a
whatever.
chat.
Well, the problem
I have
is
something
that for a
important to
lot
tell
of these
you. Your
actors,
friend, Hagrid.
that is their job now. They have to say all the nice things, otherwise they will get disowned on Twitter. And the reality is that Twitter should not matter to these people at all. And to some of the actors, it doesn't. But to the proper ones, it does. And so, like, to Elijah Wood, it matters.
Oh, jeez.
It shouldn't. To Sean Astin, it matters. It shouldn't. To Billy Boyd and Dominic Monaghan, it matters.
Yeah.
And it shouldn't. It's basically become like, so Big Daddy social media has become, if people remember that Fairly Odd Parents episode where Timmy's dad becomes a dictator, that's what it's become. It's like, you must have my opinion or else.
Or else what?
Just or else. You must smile everywhere you go, or else. I lost the happy, but the happy's back. And that's what social media is now.
This is sad.
You don't want people to be real. You don't want people to have differing opinions because that's bad. That's wrong thing.
Nobody. It's like nobody should have to be forced to feel happy.
Kind of like Letitia Wright, who I mean, ultimately changed her tune, but was actually against Black Panther 2.
Really?
Yes. Yes, she was against Black Panther 2 in honor of Chadwick Boseman.
Oh, wasn't she not?
She was on the bandwagon of waiting like 5 years and recasting T'Challa.
Okay.
Especially since when Chadwick had passed away, like, they were still dealing with COVID on the set and everything like that. So it's just like, okay, well, this is like a really good idea. Let's just go ahead and ignore things. Nope, we got to get Wakanda Forever out as quickly as possible. And then she would have constant disagreements with who should be having a mask on the set or whatever. And now she's the new Black Panther because my woman's. My whammons. She's got to be, which is sad now because now there's literally female versions of every single main MCU Avenger now. Because Black Panther 2 introduced Riri Williams. For those who don't know who that is, not my Iron Man. What's really sad too is like her Iron Man armor, Iron Heart armor, looks like something out of fucking Kamen Rider. It doesn't even look like it's MCU.
Oh, I wonder if Arya has to go potty.
Probably.
Or did she have her tablet?
I don't think it would have died just yet, but I mean, it could have.
Okay. I just hear her singing.
But she stopped, so maybe she figured it out. Yeah, in case you haven't figured this out, no, I have not seen Wakanda Forever, and I have no intention of seeing Wakanda Forever.
At least until it comes out. And
then I'll laugh at it on the couch with you. I've already seen enough to know it's not going to be legit, and it's going to be more of an insult to Chadwick Boseman's legacy than anything. Especially with the introduction of Namor.
Watch out for the suits of armor.
For those who don't know what that is that's Hispanic Namor.
I hope I never meet one.
Yep, you can hear her.
I said Namor.
Namor.
Can you go potty?
Help me, Harry! Some nasty Slytherin student has charmed all of my chocolate frogs, pumpkins, and cauldrons into the air. Please help me to get them back by using your knockback chunks to bring them down.
Oh, I remember that. Okay, I am so...
Harry!
try one more
Oh, you
time.
didn't manage. Help me, Harry! Please help.
Okay, I have officially liked the D-pad better
Harry!
on
Oh,
certain
you didn't
challenges.
Help
'cause
me, Harry! Please help
I
me.
so hate using the joystick on certain. Yeah, Drak's gone to take Arya to the potty. Oh, really? How so? Oh, really?
Yes.
She didn't want to sit on the potty any longer?
Harry! Oh, you didn't.
Not after Daddy wiped a couple of times.
Oh.
So that's what I'm saying. She might want Mommy to...
You just make that because that's what just Mommy does.
Yeah. That's what Mommy does to our oldest right now. Because she, unfortunately, is having the issue of she pushes way too hard. So then she has a little turtle head poke out. Bonk. I could have seen that happening. She has a little turtle head poke out, and then she doesn't like Daddy handling it. She likes Mommy handling it.
Really?
Yes.
Because Daddy just doesn't want to deal with it.
Well, I mean, Daddy ultimately doesn't want to deal with it, but you know what? Daddy has to deal with it because parents. Adrian Couch King. I'm sorry I left you alone, Rising Sun.
Because he doesn't want to deal with. He doesn't want to deal.
You don't want to deal with it either.
I deal with it at
Parenthood.
I deal with it at work too.
I'm being honest.
I know. But I deal with it at work too.
Who wants to deal with poop? I mean, even she doesn't want to. Oh, jeez, that was clipping.
Clipping!
Wow. There are many things in life I don't want to deal with. Yes, exactly. You don't want to deal with it, but you still deal with it. Guess what? Changing diapers was one of those things. Specifically poopy diapers. Those aren't fun. But yeah, what was I talking about? Oh, yes, Namor. Yeah, I'm not interested in Wakanda Forever. Like certain job frustrations lately, those aren't fun to deal with, but such is life. Exactly. Right now, my big frustrations is getting 80% done loading the van and then finding out that the warehouse people didn't actually put things out the way that they should have, so everything's out of order. That's a bitch. Wakandans are actually racist. Well, yes, now we're finding that out. They're also kidnappers.
Really?
Yes.
How so?
Because apparently they kidnap Riri Williams in the movie.
Why?
Because apparently she's created I don't know the details, but I guess she's created a vibranium detector. So they kidnap her so that she can make a vibranium detector for them. You'd think that they would have one, you know, since they've been mining a mountain of it.
Having a tour of the castle, are we? This is as far as you'll be going. You won't get past me, no matter how hard you try. Trapped in a big scary castle, eh? Oh dear, I think Potter is going to cry.
You know, I was mad at you as a kid, but now your actor has made me think that you're kind of based.
What?
Just saying.
Oh. You used to hate him?
Well, yeah, everybody hated Draco. But now that Tom Felton has come out in support of J.K. Rowling, now I'm starting to think Draco Malfoy's based. You're not supposed to like him. Oh, do now. It's Sacco? I have no idea what...
Or is he meaning to say it's sacrilege? I don't know.
I don't know. Kasaibo will clarify it in a little bit. That's fine. That's his parody name in Harry Potter. Oh, really?
Oh.
Sacco. Well, Sacco is also based.
I remember one time I watched the Harry Potter musical on YouTube. It was funny.
Harry Potter YouTube has kind of failed, in my opinion, in the parody department. They've got a couple of good things, but, like, sadly, and Andrea will probably kill me for saying this, but, like, I know you're a big fan of the Potter Puppet Pals, but, yeah, after about one episode, I was done. I was like,
Leviosa.
I'm sorry, they don't.
Especially when they basically predicted that J.K. Rowling would rewrite Dumbledore to always be hanging out with his wang out. That was a little weird.
Ow! Time for a lesson, Potter. Let me teach you about wizard crackers. You're not leaving this castle until I have revenge.
Well, I tend to prefer club crackers anyway.
Club crackers?
You said wizard crackers.
Oh.
I get that it could be referring to firecrackers, but of course the first thing that comes to my mind is crackers, food.
Crab, take care of this upstart. Now, Potter, I'll give you a taste of my super wizard crackers.
Now I want club crackers. Why does the stream always make me hungry? It's alright, it makes me hungry too, Rising Sun. What's really sad too is, like, I've got to have dinner before I go to bed, otherwise I can't take my meds and...
Oh, you good.
No, then I get an upset tummy. And then I can't go to bed. Shut up! I'm not a whiny person. I blame Andrea since she's the one playing tonight. Thank you. Yay! I get to avoid responsibility. And the only and one of the main reasons she's playing is just because I don't want to be a controller hog. Now she's regretting her decision. Oh my gosh. See, Drak is being nice tonight. Thank you, Rising Sun. I'm just not being nice to people on Twitter. But I rarely ever am. And yeah, I've been looking up updates, and unfortunately, yeah, they're just not saying anything about JDF.
Yeah.
Which is sad. Because but part of me is like, I don't know if I want to know. Unless you're addicted to social media, in which case Drak is being mean to you. Yes. I'm not being mean to you, I'm just being your big brother and telling you to get out of it, because there is a life outside of Twitter. And you do need to live it. But then again, if you follow people like Kathy Griffin and Rosie O'Donnell, then you are a lost cause. I have no problem saying that. Just like the person that I mentioned earlier, the Icky Vicky person.
Icky Vicky.
Apparently Hive is the new Twitter place, so I made an account there. Posted 2 things, and I probably will never open it again. Yeah, I've already seen like sites like IGN posting like, here's the place to go if you don't want to be on Twitter.
Doyle, get in here. Now we'll show this twit who the real wizards
These
are.
were the same people who criticized conservatives for going to places like Parler and saying, oh, well, you guys are just gonna go there and plan your extremism. But now that Elon's not conservative, but he's way further to the right than any weirdo leftist on Twitter. So at that point, yeah, of course he's an extremist. Which, for the record, I'd like to point out that, yeah, he reinstated Trump, but ultimately the biggest thing that he could have done to throw everybody off, I know that some people are not going to like me saying this, but if he reinstated Alex Jones, that would be a much bigger move than Donald Trump. Because everybody kind of expects Donald Trump. Nobody expected him to reinstate Alex Jones, and for the record, he said no. He won't do it.
The House Point hourglasses are slowly filling up.
Now, how many points did you lose? And Elon even said he wouldn't reinstate Alex. Yeah, he did. He said he wouldn't reinstate Alex Jones. But I'm saying, like, that would have been the bigger left hook to reinstate Alex Jones than to reinstate Donald Trump. It's a very interesting topic to think about, yeah?
Slytherin.
I hate Alex Jones. I laugh at the memes just like everybody else, but I would not follow his guide, like his logic in any way, shape, or form.
Gryffindor are in
but the dude did not deserve to be canceled the way he did. He was ultimately canceled. He did not deserve that. Nobody deserves that. So that's the bottom line of it. Good that Jesuit coadjutor has caused enough trouble. Oh, are we talking about Alex Jones? Is he a Jesuit? I don't know.
Hello, Harry. It's me, Hagrid. Good to see you. These are the Hogwarts Castle grounds, and I'm the gamekeeper, of course. You'll need to attend your herbology class.
I can't even tell if his nose is properly in the model because the camera like keeps adjusting, and
in the grounds.
I can't tell if they're okay. It is actually sticking out. Hagrid the fallacious. Yes. I mean, if anybody had a nose as big as somebody like Nick Rekieta, it would be PS1 Hagrid. I get Elon's reasoning for not reinstating Alex Jones, and I don't necessarily disagree, but why is that specifically the place to draw the line at? Good question. Good question. I mean, again, I think that Alex Jones is a grade A nut bar, but he has the right to be on social media just as much as all of the other crazy people on Twitter do. So at that point, nobody will convince me that he doesn't deserve to be on there like everybody else. Because frankly, I've seen leftists say things far worse than Alex.
Good day, students.
And he's got a bad attitude.
Right. Let's learn
Alex?
how to cast
Alex has got a
incendiary
lot of
spell.
things.
Watch my wand
Elon
move
has,
on the screen.
as a social
Press the
media
seals
owner,
it
also
points
has a
to.
right to decide
Complete
what he
each
does or
sequence 3
doesn't want on his
times to learn
platform,
the
especially
incendiary
with
spell.
going private.
That's the ticket. Now let's
That's the
start
biggest
casting.
thing that people are so irritated about, is that he is wanting to take the company private, which at that point I don't care.
Trying.
And he's already kind of said, like, he does want to make
dear.
Twitter a
Oh dear.
what's the word I'm looking for? Like a public square again.
That was good. Excellent. Perfect.
If Elon ruins the platform,
Most
well,
impressive.
he's the one
Now
who
try this
spent
one.
44 billion on it. Exactly. Like, I tend to agree with some
Not
people. I
good.
don't know if he can ultimately
Oh dear.
fix Twitter, and bring it back
trying.
into being a worthwhile social
That
media
was good.
platform. But
Excellent.
I mean, ultimately,
Oh dear.
yeah, he paid the 44 billion for it, but
Excellent.
he now has the infrastructure that came with Twitter.
Perfect.
So if he wanted to try and start a new
Well
one,
done. You've
he could do
mastered
it.
the incendio spell. Now follow me to
just
learn how
using
to
the
use
framework that Twitter
incendio
was built
spell.
on. So that's up to him. I just love the fact that everybody's
Let's
flipping
try the
out
incendio spell to
on
mirror a
what he's
bouncing
doing.
bulb.
Like, he is making
Use
such
your wand
minor
on the bouncing
moves
bulb by the door. Hit the correct symbols,
that
and you'll
it
build
doesn't
up
even
enough spell
matter
power
in
to
a lot of
affect the
cases for those
bulb.
people. But it also begs the question of who should run the public square. Well, the public square is just public at that point. I ultimately don't care if his platform is the public square, that's fine, but you have to adhere to the laws with which the company is based in. I get that you want a global approach, but company's based in US, which means freedom of speech exists.
Oh, I hate these challenges.
I mean, I'm not a 100%... I am a free speech absolutist in a lot of ways, but it's only because, like, to all the people who want to say that there isn't any consequences to free speech, bullshit. There absolutely is. There always is. I rock the boat regularly, and that in turn always has consequences. But there are also limits that should be in place. And that's where I would tend to argue in that regard, because the limits that I think should be in place are within the bounds of U.S. law, and the bounds of U.S. law is the First Amendment.
This year, they're even letting first years train.
Because
If you
look,
ever go,
we can all
I
like
hear you're pretty good on a
we
broomstick.
can have somebody drop the N-word left and right on the platform, and people aren't going to follow them. Or the wrong kind of people are going to follow him, and then they're going to realize then they're going to sit there and go, oh, well, why can't I ever get people that don't like me just dropping the N-word all the time? There are consequences to that.
Want the password for the portrait, Harry? Bring us blue every flavour beans. But watch yourself. There are some
Oh yeah,
weird
that's right. In this
creatures
game, you had
running
to
around out
sort
there.
all of the beans into different colors.
Oh, yes.
My poor kitten has fallen
But
down
I
the
will say
well.
this,
I
if
can't reach her.
Elon, as a private company
It's
holder,
very dark down there.
is in charge of Twitter,
Help me.
and
If
he
you
does
can
put
find
limits
the
in
bottom of
place,
the well,
that's his
you might find
his
her.
deal. I don't have to like it or dislike it. It's how he's decided to run his company. Because here's the thing, like, if he does enough shit like old Twitter did that pissed me off, then there you go. I don't have to use his platform. Yeah, it's his company, so he decides the limits. Yes.
But Fred and George used it for bludger practice.
I can tell you what I want, but ultimately it is his company. And if you don't like the limits or lack thereof, You don't have to. Yeah, exactly. You don't have to use the site. I mean, for people in my generation, it probably doesn't even frickin' matter because social media is still kind of a... I don't want to say like we're boomers about it, but we still like remember a time outside of social media, so it's not like we can't not do it. Unfortunately, there's whole generations of children that literally grew up in social media, and that's a sad thing.
Mm-hmm.
And if advertisers don't like how the site is run, they can
Welcome,
also... Yeah,
Mr.
exactly.
Potter. Grab your broomstick, and we'll
But
begin
here's
the
the
training.
thing, though. If they do,
Welcome
if
to
they don't
Quidditch
like what he
training.
says,
Whichever
and
seeker
he
catches
actually
the golden
does
snitch
bring a
scores his
worthwhile
team
audience to the
150
platform,
points,
the
which is why
consequence
seekers
there
tend to
is
get
they don't get
fouled
to
so much.
advertise to that
For your
audience.
first seeker training, let's practice chasing the snitch. Fly through 10
And that's
hoops
money
generated
that
by
they
the golden
literally
snitch.
say we don't
Get
want.
Set. 3, 2, 1.
Yay, more flying through rings. I thought we were done with this already. Nope.
Nope, you're never done with rings.
Although from what I've been told, or from what I've read and been told internally, a lot of advertisers are not interested in working with Twitter, and it's primarily because, yeah, probably wasn't a good idea for them to be there. Yeah, like if Coke doesn't want to advertise, but Pepsi does, that's attention only Pepsi is getting. Exactly. Free market.
Now fly through 20 hoops, then
And
hit the
then
cross button when the snitch
they
moves
get
towards your
to...
hand. On my mark.
And here's the thing. Pepsi can advertise that then later and say, well, we were the only soda company that was on Twitter, and we gained this much money from doing advertisements on it. But one of the main reasons that I'm hearing a lot of advertisers left is because, guess what, boys and girls? That bot ratio was bigger than I'm pretty sure Parag ever told them. And it was probably big enough that some of those advertisers probably looked at it and went, why did we spend this much money on this platform?
Especially if it was mostly all bots.
Well, it doesn't even matter if it was all bots. It just matters if it was so many. So, like, the numbers that I'm hearing is, like, upwards of 25%. Probably even as high as 50%. And one of the reasons that we know all of this is, funniest thing, when Elon took over,
You've earned silver wings.
a lot of prominent left-wing accounts, and also some right-wing accounts too, started losing a lot of followers for some reason. It's almost like, because we know that Elon wants this, he's getting rid of the bots. He's not letting you have the bot accounts, and I think he's also putting in some framework so that people can't just create endless amounts of accounts. Like, maybe just saying, like, if you're belonging to this ISP, you only get, like, 1 to 2. And that's it. I, as a consumer, have a right to change my purchasing habit based on who is staying and or leaving. Exactly. The bigger thing that I think that is going to come out of that Rising Sun is a lot of norms that have come out of advertising recently, especially for, like, gaming companies, is they see, like, this, I'm going to say, very vocal minority screaming about how they don't have diversity and inclusivity in their games. Except, past Twitter, you yourself could have up to 50 Twitter accounts. And all you'd have to do is message your friend who also has 50 Twitter accounts, and his friend who also has 50 Twitter accounts, and that makes it look like there's a vocal minority, when in reality, it's not as big as they thought it was.
For that performance, you've earned gold wings and 25 house points for Gryffindor.
It's just basically people who knew how to game the system and knew how to abuse it, and abusing the hell out of it, and the companies don't know any better. So at that point, I think what's going to happen here is you're going to start seeing legitimate audience feedback on the platform, hopefully, where they're going to limit how many accounts that you can actually do stuff on, and they're going to get rid of all the bot accounts, and that vocal minority is going to look a lot smaller now. And so at that point, it's up to Pepsi on whether or not to advertise to the actual 10 people on Twitter versus the 200 people on Twitter who are saying, no, we like what you're doing. Keep doing what you're doing. I'm also wondering if the economy gets worse if companies would stop advertising as much. I don't know.
Caput Draconis.
I honestly don't know, because I would love to be able to be like a fly on the wall at marketing meetings and seeing like how much actual money they are spending on these advertising campaigns on Twitter, and how much is like over what they should be spending. What would be a conservative estimate? Because like we're now hearing about stuff like one of the reasons that like these companies and their social media officers and stuff like that have verification was because if you spent like upwards of $15,000 on advertising, then the person that you were talking was like, well, I mean, you're already at 10,000, so if you go to 15, we'll just verify you.
Yeah.
So at that point, like, and everybody's screaming at Elon because he wants to basically make verified on Twitter be a monthly thing that you pay for. So at that point, which I don't mind. Like, I actually think that if because your business is requiring you to be verified, so the people know that this is the business talking, I think you should pay a monthly fee. Like, and $8 a month is not that bad. Games journalists, get the fuck over yourselves. You're just pissed because you get everything for free, and Papa Elon basically told you, no, you actually have to pay this. You don't like that, go get out of your overly expensive New York apartment. Yeah, like, how much return are they actually getting from... Yeah, exactly. I would love to be a fly on the wall in those marketing meetings and see how much Parag was overcharging people, or was overcharging companies. Because I'll guarantee you he was overcharging the fuck out of them.
Friendly fellas, but they...
And that's what I think ultimately is going to change Rising Sun, is that advertising spending is going to go down, which is ultimately going to affect everything. Everything is going to go down, like, even... Because as soon as they say, oh, well, we're not spending that much on Twitter, why are we spending that much on YouTube? And then at that point, YouTube is going to have to oblige and say, oh, yeah, we'll cut down our advertising packages too. I do think if they had to pay for verification, but they should ensure the username is the real person's name of a real company's name. Okay, let me read that again just to make sure I've got it. I do think if they do the pay for verification... Well, the pay for verification at this point is the $8 a month. At least the way that I understand it. They're not going to do the whole, oh, if you spend $15,000 to advertise, we'll just verify you. Because that was, as Elon has admitted, it was like a back-end deal. And that shouldn't have been happening. Like, I can't just pay for the checkmark and make my name Nintendo. Well, you can't really change your name from what I'm hearing about the verification anyway. But... Because, from what I understand, Count Dankula is now stuck with his name being Giant Penis. Because he's verified. He's got that gray verification. And
oh my goodness.
It's apparently a bug. Like, you're supposed to still be allowed to change your name. But Count Dankula was making fun of people, and so he changed it. He likes changing his Twitter name to piss people off. Oh, and so he changed it to Giant Penis, parentheses, parody. Oh, and it's like, and he changed the image of it to... like a bodybuilder's body, but it's Trump's head on it.
Oh gosh.
And so, but the problem is that because of the bug, he's now been stuck as Giant Penis for like a month. And so it's funny to see him occasionally. I see these on articles. It's just like, Elon, you said you'd fix this. I'm still giant penis.
Well, that's your fault for being that in the first place.
That's great. I love it.
Well,
I appreciate Dankula, but that was just a funny thing to have happen to anybody.
Try to grab all the Bertie Bott's beans.
But I agree with you. If you are not Reggie Fils-Aimé, let's just use this as an example. If you are not Reggie Fils-Aimé, you do not get to say that you're Reggie Fils-Aimé, the president of Nintendo, kind of thing. Now, if you want to make a parody account, I don't necessarily have a problem with those. But the problem that I had with old Twitter is that those parody accounts could get verified, and so that at that point you'd have that confusion. Now they just don't get verified. They are legit parody accounts, and maybe even like Elon ought to consider like coming up with some kind of a distinction to say parody account. I'm fine with parody accounts, but they shouldn't be... Exactly. They should not be verified. And that was the weirdest thing, is like, I remember seeing podcasters that could not get verified, and they had parody accounts that did. And so, like, when they would say, oh, well, we're recording on a podcast, that verified account would then point people in a different direction. Towards, whatever porn link they put up or whatever. That shouldn't happen. Which is why I'm not worried about getting verified at all on Twitter, because I don't need to.
Oh, you don't want to be verified. Just kidding.
I don't care. Like, if I was making a worthwhile amount of money, maybe I would care. But
there you are. I hope you did well in your herbology
But the
class.
thing that I'm trying to point out
Can you
is
fetch me some
the
foliar
biggest people
seeds
who are
from a rare
complaining
plant
about
in the
this,
forest?
Andrea,
The
are
plant is
journalists.
just beyond the gargoyle gate.
And why are they complaining
Some
about it?
very strange
Because
goings
they
on
have
of
literally
late.
gotten
Be
used to
careful,
having a silver
Harry.
spoon in their fucking mouth for way too long. Like, I'm sorry. I'm gonna keep saying it till the end of time. I do not trust any games journalist that takes a review copy of a game. There was a reason I reviewed the way I did. I paid the money, so therefore I have a freaking leg to stand on. They are getting paid to say good things about a game. I'm skeptical. Yes. I'm skeptical of journalists as a whole as well. But that's like my biggest problem with games journalists. Why do I not take people like Review Tech USA, Young Yeah, or any of them seriously? And I don't like lend any kind of credence to their opinions. Because they're getting free copies of the game. They're getting free fucking copies of the game, and now they're bitching because Papa Elon basically said you have to pay $8 a month to verify who you are. $8 a month, which is a big deal to a lot of these people because they feel like they have to live in the New York, California, Texas markets to be able to do their job. Fuck no, you don't! I follow plenty of games journalists that don't do any of this stuff and have way more cred, in my opinion. In my opinion, that they may not be yours, but they live out in the middle of Nebraska and are able to do their job.
Hello, Harry.
I'm sorry, you don't have a leg to stand on at that point on why you're paying upwards of $1,500 to $2,500 a month on an apartment in New York City when you could be saving enough money so that you could pay the $8 a month. Yeah, if I was getting a free copy of anime, I'd be more reluctant to say bad things about it. Exactly, it was a gift.
Because I'm sure, you would love to get stuff for free if you could.
I mean, for crying out loud, like, when I can't remember the guy's name off the top of my head, but when I reviewed Captain Impossible, or
You
Is that the name of it?
Bertie Bott's beans.
I got given a free copy of a indie game and asked to review it.
Oh, yeah?
And immediately, like, it was the first time it had ever happened to me because I pay for my games. And I literally, like, he gave it to me, and that was great, and I'm very grateful. But I did reach out to the guy, and I said, look, just because you gave me a free copy does not mean I'm going to hold back on this game. I'm going to tell you what's wrong with it. I'm going to tell you what's right with it. And the guy actually said, nope, that's why I gave it to you. Have at it. And it turned out that the game was actually really fun. And if I post a game review or an anime review in that regard, you know it's my honest opinion because there's no conflict of interest. Exactly. Like, I'm going to be very careful about this. My older brother was very happy when he found out that God of War Ragnarok got nothing but perfect 10s from all the game critics out there. These were the same critics outlets that gave Wakanda Forever a 100% critic review on Rotten Tomatoes.
Hengist of Woodcroft.
These are the same people who gave Grand Theft Auto 4 and 5 and Grand Theft Auto Online perfect 10s. And it was very easily found out months later that guess what? Rockstar paid him. Yeah, I don't trust any of those motherfuckers. You may or may not like the reviews that I've done in the past, but I paid for the games. So I'm giving you an honest assessment of, like, do I think this game was worth the $60 I paid for it? Now, with the way that I'm going to do game reviews in the future, I don't know if I could continue doing that, but, like, or continue making that a segment, but I'm going to try. Because if you could still purchase the game, then I'm going to, and it's great, then I'm going to encourage you to go and buy it. But it's exactly that, Rising Sun. Like, if you put up an anime review, and the anime company sent you a box set free of charge, and then it was found out that they gave you that, and you weren't the one. I'm giving you a hypothetical here. If it was found out later that you were given that box set and didn't have to pay for it and didn't disclose it, you would lose credibility from that. Whereas if you had actually come out and said it, then at least people would know, like, okay, well, you know, he was given a free one, so maybe we ought to continue, take his credibility, but only so far. I feel like if I was given something, I'd want to be upfront about it. Exactly, and that's how you should want to be. But there currently is a huge culture in, I would say, anime reviews as well, because a lot of those companies like Anime News Network, they just buddy up to the companies so that they can get some kind of a copy to review. And then they never pay for this shit, ever. That way they know I might not be unbiased if I try to be. See, and my viewpoint on the matter is, A, I would be upfront about it in the review, like I was. And then I'd also be upfront with the developer and saying, you gave me this free copy, and that's great. I'm all for getting free stuff. But I'm going to be honest about it. And if you don't want me to be honest about it, then give me a forwarding address to mail this back to you. And I'll probably even say that in the review too. Like, I ultimately did have to buy this game because even though I was given a free copy, I told them that I was going to be honest about it and they wanted the copy back, which I would have no problem doing. It's one of the things I like about my job. I'm paid to be unbiased with the stuff I look at. Exactly.
You gave it back?
No, I'm saying if that was the case.
Oh, I thought you said that you...
Like if the guy had said, like, oh, no, I want you to say nothing but nice things, I would be like, okay, well, here's the code back. I'm not going to use it. Because he ultimately just gave me a free game code for it, and I downloaded it.
Oh, okay.
But if he ultimately, like, if I told him, I'm going to be honest about the game, if you did a shitty job, I'm going to call it, and he just says, oh, no, I'm expecting you to say nothing but nice things, I'd be like, okay, well, here's your code back. Have a nice day. Because I don't do that. I also feel like if my job had me look at something where there could be a conflict of interest, I'd be extra harsh. Yeah, I'd probably be that way too. I'd have to... It's one of those things where I'd have to get over the hump of, oh, wow, this was a gift given to me by a developer. That was so nice of them. But I have a feeling that if it was like a genre that I really did appreciate and feel like they could have done a lot better, yeah, I'd probably be a little bit more harsh with it. I'd still try to maintain some level of objectivity, though. Like, because I think there was actually, like, when I did that review, there was one puzzle that was frustrating, but I didn't hold it against the guy because I knew what he was trying to do. I just tend to, because it was a point-and-click adventure, and I tend to not like when that kind of a puzzle is implemented. So at that point, he was making something that wasn't catered to me, and it didn't feel right to just take out my frustrations on him for it. Or if it was something that mattered at work, I'd just make sure someone without that conflict was without that conflict was involved. Exactly. But we're not doing that now for games reviews. We're not doing that for tech reviews. We're not doing that for anime reviews. We're not doing that for movie reviews anymore. The term review, I don't even think we can say it's a review anymore because it's basically nothing but propaganda and advertising. They basically pay, like, the game companies now pay for good advertising coming in the form of critics. And I say critics with air quotes because I don't think they're critics anymore. And I'm saying that knowing that there's a bunch of people that I have worked with in the past that probably don't have that viewpoint, don't think it's feasible, and then at that point I would say, well, then you need to be writing things other than game reviews. You need to be writing other things like editorials. Like, you need to make that worthwhile. And unfortunately, what a lot of people like Jason Schreier do, which is why I don't have a whole lot of respect for the man anymore, is they in turn basically become activists and try to shove their beliefs down my throat, and I could not care less. Especially since people like Schreier live in a fantasy world where everything is free, and it's just not like that. Like, Jason Schreier, move out of New York. You would earn points with me if you did that. Because until you do, I'm literally going to look at all of your opinions and go, yeah, that's exactly what I would think somebody from a war zone like New York would think.
People move out of New York and California, huh?
They should, for how expensive it is to live in those states now. Well, not in those states, in those cities.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, New York is not a good example, because, like, upstate New York is also very expensive, but there's a reason for that. But, like, in Northern California, you still have sensible people running things. I visited New York once. I question many of the people who live there. Yep. I questioned California the second my little brother lived there for a couple of years, and the second he told me how much it cost to buy
in California.
Yeah.
Okay, I thought you said New York. I'm like,
No, he lived in California, in Northern California, and he told me how much it was in Northern California to buy a half gallon of milk, and spoiler, it wasn't cheap. I was like, no. I pay like $2.50, maybe $3.50 for a gallon of milk here, and it was like $6 for a half gallon. I was like, fuck that. Like, you would need to pay me a lot of money to deal with New York, not even taking into account the high cost of living. Yeah, exactly.
I'm gonna have to hear.
Incendio!
Oh, I for a second there, I thought Andrea was gonna get mad at us for cost of living stuff.
Why would I get mad at that?
I love my quiet Ohio suburb with low cost of living. Exactly. I mean, you know, like we compared to other states, we do not pay half what they pay, and we get by, and we're just fine. Like, I have no problem telling you, Rising Sun, like, how many times I got told, oh, well, if you really want to make it in voiceover or in radio or whatever, you have to move out to those markets. No, you don't. We don't. We live in an era where your morning jock in Colorado can be based in Texas. And it doesn't matter. Or maybe Texas suburbs. Well, Texas suburbs probably. But that can be really... depending in Texas. Because if you're living in the city centers like Dallas and Houston and Austin, yeah. But I've been told, like, San Antonio and other remote areas in Texas, it's not. It's not that hard to live there.
I hate this freaking challenge.
Incendio!
I mean, we live in the suburbs of Utah.
There we go.
And it's not that bad yet. I am worried about a lot of the California implants that are moving into the city, but that might change it. I don't think it will, but ultimately it could. I have a couple of friends who live in the middle of nowhere, Texas, which could be cheap, but I like being near more things. And that probably works for them. I still would be, like, in a suburb area. I like that. I've lived in farm territory, and it wasn't the greatest.
Because you were never nearby a lot of places you wanted to be.
Yeah. There wasn't much to do. The problem was that I was the city slicker.
Oh, yeah.
And so, like, I was used to doing city things, and everybody who I was talking to at that point were, like, working on their parents' farm. So at that point, like, there was a disconnect. I think suburb is a good balance for me. Yeah, for me it is too. Because I've done rural life, and I've done a certain degree of city life, and I'm fine being in the suburbs. And that's where we're at.
Drak is a city.
I don't need a lot to do, but I like having stores and restaurants nearby. Exactly. What was that?
Drak is a city slicker.
Well, according to the people in Idaho, I was.
Oh, yeah.
I've even talked to a lot of them later on. She's like, yeah, it was kind of hard to get along with you because you didn't really want to do all the things that we did. And I'm like, yeah, I didn't grow up in this kind of surroundings, and so there was a little bit of a disconnect for me too. And we just kind of laugh about it now. I also have a 5-minute commute, which is amazing. Yep. Andrea's is what, 20 minutes?
What?
Your commute?
Oh, my work?
Yeah.
Yeah, 15 to 20 minutes, depending.
Mine is about 15, so that's not bad. In the grand scheme of things, that's not
My
bad.
other job was a 5-minute commute if I was living at.
Yeah, when we weren't married.
Mm-hmm.
And then that became a 15-minute commute.
Oh yeah.
But you dealt with it.
Oh yeah.
You were a big girl and dealt with it.
Well, at least it would be better than like if I had a job in Bountiful or something.
Yeah, this is true.
I'd be like, no, thank you.
That was one of the things I was gonna have to get used to if I was able to get the CDL jobs this year, because a lot of the warehouses and all that were
now I can show
out in
you what I need
Ogden.
'em for.
So
Secret, mind you.
45-minute
Come
commute.
on inside, Harry. Wipe your feet now.
So there are some benefits for where I'm working right now. 15-minute commute versus a 45-minute.
It's small, but still roomier than your cupboard under the stairs, eh? I got this from a man in the Hog's Head pub. It's
Wow,
a
we are
dragon
that
egg.
far into
I
this
need
game.
some fire seeds.
It
to
kind of
give it that
surprises
last
me
burst
now
of heat
how
to
fast we
force
can
it
go
to
through this
hatch.
game now.
Go ahead and put them in the fire, Harry.
Oh, and the one conversation that we haven't had, like, here's one of the few examples of a good movie tie-in.
It's hatching.
Yeah, that doesn't happen anymore. We don't get movie tie-in games anymore, but this is actually a good example of a game with a movie tie-in.
Up you come, me beauty.
And a lot of it is just because,
Hey,
like,
lovely.
the first
Call him
3
Murdoch.
were based on a
He's
Zelda
Norwegian
formula.
Ridgeback, you know. Harry, you're a true friend. I want you to have this book, Quidditch Through the Ages.
I'm gonna bite your nose.
Basically, somebody took a triangle and just right there.
I'd better give Norbert his first feed soon. I'll see you later, Harry. Thanks again.
PS1 Hagrid. But yeah, that's like my overall viewpoint on games journalism as a whole. It's not trustworthy anymore. Games journalists have been getting it free and easy for way too long, and frankly, I know that some people are going to disagree with me on this, but if you're going to review something, I think you ought to have paid for it. And shared that financial burden, because that carries weight to me. Especially when it comes to things like, I don't know, if you're going to review the latest iPad or something like that. You had to have paid for it. And then at that point, that's when I take you seriously as a critic. Because if you're just getting it free every year, yeah, sure, you can tell me the differences between the versions, but you're not feeling the hurt that my wallet's gonna feel for purchasing it, if that makes sense. So yeah, sure, you can talk its praises and you can talk its downsides. I mean, there were plenty of people who did that with the Steam Deck, because to my knowledge, there might have been review copies of the Steam Deck, but from what I understand, most of the critics, like, they had to wait in line just like everybody else. So we got some honest feedback about the Steam Deck, and that was refreshing.
Follow me, Harry. You'll never
But-
guess what I found.
Like, how many people are asked to review the latest iPhone and don't have to pay a dime for it because they've spoken nothing but praises to Apple.
Hello, Harry. Try to grab all the Bertie Bott's beans, but mind the bouncing bulbs. If they bump you, you'll lose some of your beans.
Just remember, if they bump you, you'll lose some of your beans. Like that.
It's like I'm shitting beans.
Oh my gosh. I love the concept that the Bertie Bott's beans were such a minor thing in the movie, but because it was such a bigger thing in the books, they made it a currency in the game.
Yes, let's just pay for all our merchandise and beans.
It does kind of make sense. Like, you know, you don't actually have money as kids, so you deal in other currencies at that point. And I think they even did say in the books, like, they would have, like, game nights in the Gryffindor dorm, where they would put up like various types of candies as antes.
Well done, Harry. You collected all the Bertie Bott's
Which does
beans.
make sense.
You earned a famous witches and wizards card for your troubles.
I also love that the voiceover has to be like really fast for some reason in this game. It's probably because like EA was probably freaking sticklers with EA was probably being sticklers about studio time. So there you go.
I'm like, what was that?
Hey, spam bot. I do not allow you to spam. There is one thing that could probably irritate the ever-loving crap out of me, and that is
This is the
spamming.
entrance
Don't
to the
do
Quidditch
it.
pitch. But first years like us aren't allowed to play.
Am I allowed to spam?
I hear they make exceptions
You're not
sometimes,
allowed to
though.
spam.
But
Sorry.
You're
if
only
you are
allowed to
very,
spam
very
if you
good.
send us some
Here comes
Taco Bell.
Neville. He looks quite upset.
Actually, you know what?
Let's
I'll
go
let
and
you
see
spam
what he
your Taco
wants.
Bell game.
Malfoy stole my Remembrall. He ran off onto the school
A
grounds with it.
reasonable spam.
I need the Remembrall to find my toad. Please help
So
me.
what would be a reasonable
Come on.
spam?
I'll show you where he
Like-
went.
Just like a little slice of spam?
I need a can of spam.
Yeah, how much out of that can of spam is reasonable?
So Longbottom has gone sniveling to you, and you want me to give you his precious Remembrall. I think I'll leave it somewhere for Longbottom to collect. How about
Check out the Taco Bell game. That definitely isn't about spam.
Come on then, Potter.
Well,
And you better watch out
do
for
we
my
know that the
bludgers.
beef in that is not spam? Actually, it would be beef. So at that point, spam's pork, isn't it? Yeah, there you go. Yes, I don't have a problem with that kind of spam. But the other one was spam that I do not appreciate. It's spiced ham, I think. Yeah, so yeah, it's pork. I don't know. I've never had spam. So
It's not bad.
I don't trust a lot of things that come out of a can. Not ever since I had to feed a dog and a cat.
Really?
Yeah, that turned me off to food from a can pretty hard.
Well, how would cannon and like food?
Like, I would open up the canned dog food and it would just be like excess gravy and stuff like, and that's gross to me. I know that sounds like a dumb thing to be worried about, but that was like anything as a kid that would make me gag. Yeah, kind of is still to this day. Yeah, I never liked.
You're a lightweight, Drak.
I'm a lightweight when it comes to a lot of things. I will disagree with you, though,
Really?
on me being a lightweight because, well, it's spam. I do some things from a can, just not everything.
But you are so sensitive to a lot of things. It's like, yeah.
I am, yes. And primarily a lot of it is just because if it made me gag as a kid, then it more than likely makes me gag as an adult. Yes, I am a wuss. I will openly admit it, but if you had to deal with my gag reflex in my life, then you have a place to talk. Because I've even had doctors tell me, yeah, given what you've told me, you have a very overactive gag reflex. And it's not fun. I forgot this concept, that you have to knock him off of his broom.
Oh, yes.
So I'm like, dude, you're GTA mofoing Malfoy. What the hell? This is very renegade, Andrea. I don't know if I appreciate it. You should be going full Paragon with Harry. Oh my gosh. I'm also debating whether or not... I'll bring it up here. I'm debating whether or not to put an update up via the post function on YouTube, just to explain to people what's probably going to happen with streams for the next month or so. I know, I'm horribly behind in getting podcasts and streams up, and primarily it's because when I get home at the end of the night, I'm done. I'm exhausted. So I will edit a little bit, but way less than I should be, and I'm hoping that once we get past the big hump that is peak, maybe that'll get better. But I don't know.
Drak doesn't know.
I don't know. I mean, I'm actually still working on editing, I think it's Sonic 2. Our review of Sonic 2. So our Geek News movie night of Sonic 2. And I've been working on it for quite a while.
You damaged my broomstick, Potter!
So that's why he had to get a Nimbus 2001.
I've no use for it.
Uh-oh. I think I hear Melody.
Poor Melody.
Entertain the people. I will go see what's wrong.
Oh. Maybe you can give her some melatonin.
I don't know how much you give her.
You've got my remember all back. Thanks, Harry. I'll be able to find my toad now. I remember now. I left Trevor near the herbology class. There are plants there that eat toads.
Mr. Potter, I'm Professor McGonagall, Deputy Headmistress of Hogwarts and Head of Gryffindor House. Although I do not approve of your chasing Malfoy about, I'll admit you have remarkable talent on a broomstick. Ordinarily, first-year students may not compete in Quidditch. In your case, we might overlook that rule. Hurry along to the Quidditch pitch. Your first match against Hufflepuff is about to start.
She looks like she's getting tired. So I think the lamp was bothering her.
Wow! You're going to play Quidditch, and as a Seeker too. I just wanted to wish you good luck, Harry.
Everyone's talking about you becoming a Seeker, Harry. Why,
You literally, in this game, you literally go from fighting Malfoy on a broom to
heard,
becoming
I
the
rushed
Seeker.
over my hat to
Like,
give
within
you big
minutes, you're the Seeker of Gryffindor
I
and
know
off
you'll
to do
catch
your
the snitch
first...
I just know it.
Off to do your first Quidditch match. I'm pretty sure Harry got practice before this point. Well, it's a good thing it isn't Slytherin, like it was in the first movie, wasn't it?
I'm your commentator, Lee George.
Yeah, it was. They were up against Slytherin in their first match.
The chasers slow the couple.
I mean, we only get to see one match in the movies,
Watch
but
out for the bludgers. These are charm balls that can knock you off your
I think it was
broomstick.
each time it was Slytherin.
Each team tried. Gryffindor
No,
Team Seeker
in
is
3 it was. I think
Remember when
it was Hufflepuff because they wanted to establish Cedric because he was the Seeker, wasn't he?
Yeah.
And I think it was the Hufflepuff game that he fell.
Oh, yeah.
A glint of gold. Is that the snitch? Potter's seen the snitch. Yeah! The crowd is on its feet. Come on, Harry Potter.
Do a barrel roll.
Oh, that was close. Do a barrel roll. Potter is so close. Ooh.
But yeah, I will get stuff out. I'm hoping that the more I adjust to work and the demand of work, plus any other issues that I'm not thinking of, that I'll be able to start pumping videos and podcasts out again. I promise. I'm not doing it to pick on people or anything like that. I especially feel bad to those who joined when I did like my first run of podcast minis, and it was so cool to actually see like my channel go up by like 10 subs, which is big for me. That I felt really bad. I even recorded a few of them, but I did not have the time to upload them or even properly edit them. So that's why ultimately that didn't happen. So I'm actually working on ways to be able to do that. What will probably have to happen is I get that quantity is what charges the algorithm on YouTube now. I'm probably not going to be able to do that. I'm probably going to have to value quality over quantity.
Oh, that was close.
Which means less stories that I'm covering and all that. But I have no problem continuing to cover Bounding into Comic stories. So, because they have actually given me permission.
Really?
Uh-huh. That's why in my first batch of podcast minis, I did a bunch of Bounding into Comic stories because I thought it was so awesome that they gave me permission to be able to use their stories and talk about it.
If it isn't the notorious Mr. Potter. Remember my name. It's Professor Snape. And I know all about you, boy. Is that a library book in your grimy little hand? Library books, by definition, are not to be taken from the library. I'll just confiscate
took it
that,
from
thank
the
you.
library.
He just looks like he needs to poop really bad.
As soon as my missing sloth brain is recovered, we'll start the first potions lesson.
But now I need to go and poop. I've had way too much fiber today.
Hey, it's a piece of a map. Hold on. This is Fred and George's handiwork.
Is
the
it?
map shows there is a forgotten area around
Is
here.
it, man?
I wonder if it could be behind that old rusty door.
Oh, keep a
The
lookout.
map says there is a magic word to open the door. Well, here goes. Alohomora.
Because they had to learn it somehow.
Wow, look. I've opened that rusty door. Come on, let's see where
What
it
kind of a
leads.
door is it, Ron?
It's a rusty.
It's a rusty door. I'm sorry, I didn't hear you, Ron. What kind of a door is it? It's a rusty door. Oh my gosh. The Cockney in this is
where my brothers
is
have hidden the sloth
amazing.
brain that Snape's after. Let's split up and have a look about.
Oh, I just love watching those comparisons from that one channel. It's like, yeah, let's just.
Oh my gosh. Like, look, we get why eventually this was remade on like PS2 and everything like that because they needed to fix the models. But you know what? We'll give credit to the PlayStation 1 because it handled it like a trooper.
Hey, here's some puffer pods. They're great fun to throw about. I hear they make trolls sneeze too.
And once a troll sneezes, it makes them explode. Isn't that what happens in this game? Yep.
Oh, it makes them fall down in sewer things.
Oh, there you go.
If they stand in the right spot.
Mm-hmm.
It makes them explode.
Well, I mean, there's very few things that the PlayStation 1 can do. Actual death animations is it's questionable.
Incendio!
I love it. With the big spells, that's when you get a full-on animation.
Okay.
And he pumps out a bunch more for you. It's okay. Use your machine gun spell. I mean, flipendo.
Incendio!
Whee!
And it's always the one freaking. Okay.
And out they spit.
I hate the incendio spell in this game. Whoa! Get ready. Do.
Incendio!
Do I need you to start talking to you like the teachers? Not good. Not good, Andrea. Not good. Oh, man. I hate to say it, we might have to call it a little early tonight because I am falling asleep.
Oh, that's fine. Let me find the nearest book.
Yeah, let's get the nearest save point. I'm sorry, guys, but again, it's primarily a lot of it is just exhaustion.
Maybe you should just take some melatonin yourself.
I don't know if that would help or not. It would probably just make me more sleepy and exhausted.
Are you sure?
I'm sure. Oh, yes, the Wiggenweld potion that we heard about in the book, I think, but not in anything else. Except for the games. Going to throw things at sea. Good night. Oh, it's all good, man. Have a good night, Rising Sun. Actually, I think the book was behind you.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, I think actually we're probably going to need to call it anyway. So, this was a good stream. It's not a full 3 hours, but we were at least able to get on and stream tonight. Hopefully, we will be able to do that tomorrow, but no guarantees. If we do, it might either be Harry Potter or Elden Ring. I'm not sure which.
Elden Ring.
You don't want another night of being able to play Harry Potter?
Oh, that's fine.
Or Harry Potter'd?
I just missed Elden Ring.
Oh, thank you. You just missed me dying. All right. So, thank you guys so much for joining us tonight. It was awesome to be able to have you here. If we are able to stream, I will let you guys know. Obviously, we will be online. If not, I will let you guys know as well. In the meantime, if you're brand spanking new, please give us a like and subscribe. It really actually does help the channel, despite the fact that I'm off dealing with holiday stuff. We really do appreciate it. And of course, we will see you guys next time for the next stream. Until then, have a good night. Take care.
Good night.